We're talking to, well, newly minted National Bureau of Investigation or NBI Director, Attorney Melvin Matibag. Welcome to StoryCon, Attorney Matibag.
Hi,
Good afternoon. Salamat sa invitation nyo at sa inyo rin po mga televiewers. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy, especially kaupo lang ninyo at I'm sure you're catching up with a lot of things.
Pero I guess we can start with what we were just discussing now, which is yung fake news na photo na nag-viral. I wonder what you guys are planning to do about the proliferation of fake news, fake images like this, or doctored images like this.
Well, that's a very timely question kasi just this morning I had a meeting with the Executive Committee of CICC together with Secretary Henry Aguda of the ICT. And we are partnering with private entities for us to address that problem. Sabi nga, yung biro nga kanina sa ni Secretary Aguda, tulungan mo kami, marami tayo papakulong. So we will go after them. We will be using modern technologies also para mahabol namin yung mga tao na nag-proliferate niyan. And speaking of fake video and fake news, recently we just filed cases to those individuals na nagkalat ng fake na medical certificate of President Bongbong Marcos. So, kinasuhan namin 3 individuals and we will target everyone who will proliferate the fake news. Kailangan namin ma-address to.
Yung si Sir Jack, di ba? Yung si Jack Argota, Sir Jack Argota, parang ganun ang pangalan.
Jason Sa and Celis and Edwin Celis.
Anong charges, sir? Cyber libel?
Yeah, cyber libel and also violation of Republic Act 154 is yung use of fake na mga news and fake na articles. There's a provision in the code na revised penal code article 154 na pag nag-publish ka ng mga na news or anything na which will create trouble, pwede ka maging responsible under the law.
Attorney, marami ng ganyang case, no? At saka ang common na naririnig naming excuse, nung iba lang naman, hindi yung principal. Sabi nila, pinick up lang naman daw nila sa internet at nirepost lang nila. Kasi, syempre, pag nagre-repost, may mga nakukuhang mga, mga nagfa-follow sa kanila. Yun ang common excuse. Ano po yung masasabi niyo kapag gano'n ang excuse?
Well, the Supreme Court already gave a guidelines on social media postings. Ano po? Kung ni-repost lang na walang caption and all, medyo defensible. Pero kung ni-repost mo at naglagay ka ng caption pa it already violates the cyber libel law. Ito naman po, yung Revised Penal Code na 154 na yan, meron po kang document na inilabas, ginamit mo, ikinalat mo publicly, na it will create chaos or reaction na mali po. So, meron pong batas and because of this, we will also be coordinating with our legislative body na magkaroon pa po ng mga laws to address this.
May ano po kayo? Kasi yung iba talaga, innocent talaga yung pagre-repost nila eh. Halimbawa, may nakukuha silang interesting, kinakalat nila, tapos hindi naman private kasi yung nila, nagiging public, yun ang magiging violation, Pero yun ang sinasabi nila, interesting lang yan, kaya nirepost ko, bahala na kung sino makakuha.
May hirap po yung ganyan depensa because from the point of view of law, it will boil down to the intent. Bakit mo pinost? Hindi mo ba? Bakit mo pinost yan? Like, let's cite the case of Jason Sa. Bakit niya pinost? It appears from the caption that he wants to create political upheaval. Di po ba? So, ang lesson po dito is let's be responsible in using social media platform. And kung hindi po sigurado, huwag tayong mag-post. Huwag po tayong mag-caption ng mga sasabihin natin. Huwag tayong mag-comment. Because there is a law that will make you answerable po sa mga ganyan po pagkakayari.
You know, sir, there's another loophole here, which is I foresee that a lot of people will say in defense na, well, I'm just asking. I'll give you a very concrete recent example. When Attorney Harry Roque posted that photo of President Marcos and insinuated that he had a colostomy bag, nakausap namin si Attorney Roque after that and he said, hindi ko siya inakusa. I was asking. and it is a matter of national interest. So, if
Yeah.
you add just one question mark at the end, apparently that's a way out. What do you think?
Well, that will be his defense. But you have to go to the law for the court to determine what is your real intent. So, series of events po yan, series of documents, pieces of evidence that will be collated. Tapos, pag kinasuhan ka, then the court will be the one to process kung ano ba yung intent mo. Kung totoo ba yung sinasabi mo na question. Kasi by just putting a question mark, it doesn't mean that you're asking a question. Doon ko na nga po ibabalik na the court will look on the intent. Kami rin po, sa law enforcement, from the National Bureau of Investigation, we will look into the intent for us to determine if there is a probable cause for us to indict you in court.
Kasi sir, nga, some people would use a question mark to avoid the appearance of imputing malice. On the other hand, the fact that you have reposted something and just include the question mark may already be malicious imputation. But how do you strike that balance? Yung kasi sa huli,
Yeah,
di ba?
i-balance
Yung paano pagbabalanse na gusto ko talaga magtanong versus gusto kong magtanim ng malisyosong
Yes.
pananaw.
Saka down the road, sa ganyan mga problema, Director, makikita natin, someone might challenge it on the basis of freedom of expression.
May ganun pa.
Nakikita ko yan. Yung ganyang mga problema, it will be a constitutional
Yes.
issue.
Well, actually, no, because alam naman natin there's really a freedom of expression. But corresponding for every rights mo, meron ka pong responsibility eh. Kaya nga po, the Supreme Court already laid down the rules kung paano yun sa posting. So if you feel, nakikita mo, it will violate that rules na sinabi ng Supreme Court, then malamang you're liable. Kaya nga po, ang pag-prosecute natin, it will start the investigation, then there is a determination of a prima facie or a probable cause for you to indict that individual for doing so, then it's the court who will determine if it's beyond reasonable doubt na you're guilty of cyber libel or any law na ikinaso po sa'yo.
Saka lalo na kung official, government official ang involved eh. Di ba mas malaki yung leeway doon ng mga tao, ordinary people, yung freedom of expression ng mga tao, hindi ba? If you are criticizing, kahit malicious yan eh. It's a public official eh.
Depende po yan. You will really, it goes down to that. Let's take for example, a person, alam naman niya, na ngayon pwedeng mag-fake ng mga video without you verify ipinost mo. Tapos sabihin mo, hindi, binigay lang sa akin to, freedom of expression, I want to inform the public. To be responsible enough before po i-post yan.
Sa tingin nyo, we need additional legislation kasi alam ko sa Singapore, meron silang law doon na kapag sinabi ng gobyerno, yung pinost nyo yan, hindi totoo, you better take it down.
It's called
At hindi mo tinake down, you are liable. Oo, dahil talagang sinabi na ng authorities, fake yan eh, nagkakalat ka ng fake news. Pero tayo meron bang ganon?
Well, it's called the
Or do you need additional legislation?
Well, that's the one that I'm saying earlier, that we will coordinate with our legislative body for us to come out with a better set of rules, probably based on what the Supreme Court have already been laid down in the case that they decided for.
Yung law na yun, sir, is called POFMA, Protection from Online Falsehoods and Manipulation Act. Again, coming back to yung question mark, there's another way that people reframe it, right? So, for example, in the example that we were just talking about, yung photo of the relatives of the victims of EJK na may hawak na mamahaling bag, in the blurb, in the caption, she wrote, if true. You know, again, may qualifier, if true. So, yeah, there you go. Hindi ko mabasa yung full caption. But again, you know, how are you guys planning to handle that?
Well, as a primary investigating body, we will go to the source po, sino yung nag-post, mahanapin natin ano ba yung original na picture talaga, paano manipulate. So wala pong pinag-iba yun sa mga deepfake na nilalabas na titingnan mo, nakala mo totoong-totoo, tapos gagawa ka pa ng parang event para sabihin mo, ito, ipapakita ko sa inyo na may ganitong ginawa tong individual na to. Only to find out, pag tinest ng forensics, ano pala, fake pala. Pero yung pagsabong if true, at yun naman pala, manipulated pala, yun ibig sabihin, you should be responsible enough na bago ka mag-post, chinek mo talaga kung authentic or talagang may pinanggalingan yung iyong pinopost.
Mhm. Well, sir, you made reference earlier to, I think, Article 154 of the Revised Penal Code. That's the article on spreading false news that makes it punishable by law. I'm also wondering kasi it's a 1930 or 1950 law? 1932, di ba? Revised Penal
Time
Code.
to update it.
Long time ago.
Oh, no, I think 1930. It predates pa the
The Constitution.
it predates the Philippine Republic.
Yeah, pa po.
Pero sir, what I mean to ask is this kasi exactly how do we define fake news or false news na ginagamit dito eh? How do we define false news? Kasi there are also times when, well, like it or not, there are times when government lies. I hate to put it that way. But,
Or
di ba?
they
There are times
push-
when-
or they push propaganda.
there are times
So,
when...
nagsinungaling talaga eh. But this is a medical record.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's fine. That's fine.
You know that there is an implication. There is an implication because kung sinasabi ni ma'am kanina na pwede kasi public official, you should also be sensitive enough. The public official may responsibility. That is yung health niya, binilabas mo, tapos peke pala.
Yes, sir.
Di sana pumunta ka muna sa St. Luke's, tinanong mo. Ito talagang medical issue ninyo. Validated ba ito na ganito?
Yes, sir.
Pero alam naman po natin, and you go back to their old, yung mga old na postings nila, alam mo na there is a political undertone doon sa ginagawa po nila.
Yes, sir.
Siguro,
I know what you
it will be differently if an ordinary individual na nagtanong, I came across with this medical certificate, is this authentic? Totoo ba to? May nangyari bang ganun? Hindi, magkaiba eh. Magkaiba po. So sabi nga, we all go back to the intent. You go back to the intent nung pong naglabas po nung dokumento at nag-post po.
I'm not talking, sir, about the specific case dun sa
Medical
Harry Roque
certificate.
case about supposed colostomy bag. I'm talking in general. How do you strike that balance between, kasi like I said nga, there really are times when we catch government officials not telling the truth, and that's part of our job. And sometimes government officials will also challenge us by saying na that's not true. I am innocent. Sometimes may ganung banggaan eh. So, pag umabot sa korte at ginamit yung 154, paano yung pagtitimbang nun?
Well, the court will look into the veracity of the document. So malalaman din po yun, di ba? Kasi it's easy to spot manufactured evidence eh. Makikita naman po natin yun eh. So, let's say, anong document? I am citing the example, ang pinakanadaanan natin, yung St. Luke's medical document nga. You can spot if it is fabricated or mali. Hindi po ba? So,
Yeah,
you will
that's
be
easy, yeah.
afforded,
May,
will be afforded support na ano. Ngayon, kung iba naman po yung nagsisinungaling talaga yung government official, because if it will be subjected to investigation and trial, makikita na po ron, nagsinungaling ka pala talaga eh. So, totoo naman pala yung sinabi. Pero at the end of the day, if we go to the libel law, whether it's wrong or right, totoo hindi sinabi, if there's a malicious
Yeah, it's
imputation
immaterial.
of something, mananabit pa rin po eh. Hindi po ba?
Truth is not a defense in libel.
Yeah.
are you...
Oh, it's the intent. Yun nga po yung sinasabi ko, you go to the intent.
Malis ang ano.
Yun
Malis
po
yung test sa libel.
Opo. Yung intent nga po, ma'am. Yung intent nung
Wow.
Okay?
Isn't there a danger here, sir, as well, na you end up going only after the enemies of the current administration? Because you keep bringing up the case of yung fake medical report. That's just one case out of how many? Thousands, hundreds of thousands of online falsehoods, right? How are you going to prioritize here? Ang
I'm citing that example because that's the one that's happening, but it doesn't mean that we're only going after them. Marami po kaming cases dito ng mga ordinary citizen. Every day, may mga nagpapile and we process it every day. It so happened that that's being publicized. That's why that is the one being cited as example.
Okay.
Attorney, pahabol ko lang. I know you've been asked about it. Sabi nila,
Opo.
you've long been identified with the Duterte administration. Nagulat siya
Yeah,
mga tao.
I was going there.
Kung bakit kayo po kung kayo napulit para sa napili para sa NBI. Can you tell us about it? Paano po kayo na-recruit?
Well, unang-una po, meron na, yan, may malis na kagad na ako yung Duterte.
Yeah, yan yung
I've
yung
been in
pagpasok
government
niya.
service long time pa po. Since 2005, I've been serving the government. I served the government, the administration of GMA in the capacity of director in LLDA, general manager of the Manila International Airport. Then at the time of Pinoy, I was consultant in several agencies. Tapos kay PRRD po, yun na nga, nag-transco ko and naging cabinet secretary. And I will be the one to mention na Secretary General ako ng PDP Laban. So politically connected to the Dutertes. And I think I'm the one who served them well. Kaya nagkaroon ng away yung action ng Coco Pimentel at ng Duterte. I was the lawyer for that and I'm speaking for them. Pero ang sa akin po rito, siguro, I better be judged on my track record rather than doon sa sino yung mga nakasama ko. Because if I will be judged doon sa mga nakasama ko, long line of list po yung mga nakasama ko In fact, I have to say this. Noong 2016, hindi naman po ako nag-campaign kay Pangulong Duterte. I was campaigning for Mar Rojas at that time. So, ang tinitingnan ko po dito kung sino yung tingin ko na makakatulong sa atin at makasama. Tayo po, public servant. When I was recruited to be part of the Marcos administration as the NBI director, ako po tingin ko, ang tiningnan naman doon is my track record. And besides, hindi po pwedeng sabihin ng mga tao na ako ay sumakabilang ba ako. Dahil if you remember, in 2022, when the campaign period, PDP Laban is campaigning for the unity team.
Yes.
Bongbong Marcos and Sara Duterte, President and Vice President. Kami po yung nag-campaign. And I've been longing to serve the government from the time that the President Bongbong Marcos assumed office. In fact, I will not deny it. I applied for a position. It's only now that I've been recruited.
Sir,
okay.
to be very clear to all the people who are seeing the chatter online, you would not classify yourself as a Duterte ally. Is that correct?
I served the government during the administration of President Duterte. So at that time, if they will define it that I'm an ally, then that's their definition.
Yes.
But siguro, I'd rather be defined from what I did and what I'm doing and what will I do as the director of NBI.
Director, if I may ask, ano po yung in-applyan nyo noong 2022? You said you applied for a position?
I'd rather say not, pero marami po. And kasama po dito yung
marami.
lawyer. Opo.
So
okay.
did this appointment come as a surprise, sir?
Well, I will not say na surprise kasi mahabang process naman po yung pinagdaanan ko. It was so before I came into the position po.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll leave that there.
Okay.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Ami, malicious ka.
Well,
Kasi tinatanong ko yung tinatanong ng mga tao.
pag-usapan natin, sir, yung involvement ng media here. But anyways, another day. Thank you so much for talking
Thank
to
you.
us today. National Bureau of Investigation Director, Attorney Melvin Matibag.